Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to my little funky invention. Now, you might be wondering, why am I sharing this with you? It doesn't look like much. It's just a plate in a frame. And ultimately that is all it is. It's just a plate in a frame. Now, I started making something completely different. But along the way, I sort of, I was just playing and tinkering like I do. And I thought, anyway, I just started making discoveries. And so with these discoveries, I thought, alright, let's see what we can turn this into. So I ended up, just for demonstration purposes, making this plate, which I was so pleased about, I put it in a frame. But then, once I put it in a frame, I worked out something even further, which is why I'm sharing this now, because you can probably hear it, the excitement in my voice. It's quite mind-blowing what I've discovered. But anyway, so if we just zoom in, or if we just go in a bit as to what this is. Ultimately, these are little lights, right? So that I've wired all these lights up, and I've soldered them with my little buzzed up soldering. You know, it's not so neat on that side, but you know, such is life. I was just in a rush. And then you've got an inner ring, and then you've got this central block of another 60 odd LEDs. So in total, I think, no, 64 in the centre, 60 in the outside ring, and then another 12 on the outside. So the idea was I was going to make it into a digital clock, where the lights demonstrate hour, minute, seconds, etc, etc. But along the way, before I made it into a clock, I made this discovery. And because I wanted this to be a little bit of an interactive plate. So I found that I accidentally made or invented a sensor of sorts. Now I won't go into detail as to what that sensor is, because that's my trick of the trade. But the point is, it works. Now what this sensor does, it detects human, I don't know, I'm not sure, I couldn't really tell you what it detects, but I can tell you that it detects something. But it only seems to work with humans. So it's either your electrical field or your electromagnetic field or something to do with electricity within your body that's triggering this. Because this sensor is nothing. It's just literally just a piece of wire that I've just done something to. And it takes no more than a few seconds to make it by hand. The longest part is chopping the ends off to wire it up. But anyway, so this sensor detects human body movement. So what I mean by that, if I wave my leg across top of this, oh, there you go. It triggers. Oh yeah, I forgot the sensors at the top end, because I've just put them at the top. So there you go. So just by me shaking my leg in front of it, it detects. And so now you might notice that there's a LED on the outside. That basically counts how many times this thing has been triggered. So that's the hour marker. But in this case, for this particular program, it was just detecting, or just telling, it's just counting how many times it's done it. So do it again. There you go. It triggers it again. And yeah, it runs my little sequence of lights, and then it should light up a second one. There you go. And if we do it again, there you go, triggers it again. So this, obviously, if you're standing in front of it, will trigger it as well. I just don't want to stand in front of it because I'm standing here topless, so I don't really want to show myself. But you know, if I do it with my hand, you'll see the same effect. In theory. Where is it? Somewhere around here. I think you've got to do some weird stuff to it, but like, let's just do it with the leg. There you go. As far as you do the leg, I don't know. Whatever energy is picking up, obviously in the legs, you got more of it in your legs than in your arms. But maybe because there's more mass of you, but it's triggering my circuit. Now that on its own is quite clever enough, and I was impressed with that, and I thought, alright, fair enough, that's, you know, I can actually pick up the serial output of this device and see that my body does in fact 100% interact with this little thing that I've made, and I've worked out how to capture the measurements, and then based on the measurement reading, it then triggers. Now when I made this and I put it into a frame, I didn't connect it to the frame, and the outside frame is made of wood, right? It's just a cheap one from IKEA, just made of wood. But the weird thing is, wood doesn't conduct electricity, as everybody knows, as we're taught in science classes. And if you put a meter across it, you know, and I'll prove it by putting a meter across it. Here we go, here's a meter. if I touch the probes together, it should beep and go to 0 and tell you that, so, you know, there's a circuit, there's something there. It's a circuit. Right, so you don't need to know too much about electricity, but obviously you do know that, you know, you have conductors, i.e. the floor, which is made of wood, and insulators like that, right? Like my leg, yeah. So my leg is an insulator, so it shouldn't bring up a reading. But in the same way, the outside of this frame is made of wood. Look, if I run it wherever, it is made of wood, so the reading doesn't change. Yeah, but if you watch the lights now, and instead of using this probe, I use my finger, or maybe more. Oops. Oh, mate, I've got to move all this stuff away because the thing is so sensitive, it gets pranged out when you're right next to it, and the readings go a bit mad because it's obviously picking up everything around you. Well, let's try again. Hopefully it's reset by now. Right, now we just go in, touch it. Ah, oh, you bugger. Why, man? Oh, so it works there, but that could have been the sensor. I bloody hate you when this happens. So again, touch it. Yeah. So there you go, and you can see the lights going off. It does work. It's just, I suppose, it depends on the strength of your touch. I don't know what it is. Maybe my fingers are too dry. Let's try with the other end. See if it's any better. Let's try from the top side. So we're just going to touch it. Oh, there you go. Oh, so this hand's better. Maybe the other one hand's too dry or too sweaty or God knows what. But there you go, look. It triggers. And it's a wooden frame. You just saw on the meter, there's no reading. So it's an insulator. So how is an insulator acting as a switch? It should be impossible. This is not possible. Alright, so look, again, touch the side of the wood. There you go. My left hand worked that time. The sensor's all the way up here, remember. Yeah, and they don't even work with my hands, but touching the frame does. And the frame is made of wood. Look. That's my finger now, but if I use my fingers, it triggers. Now you tell me, what's that? How does that work? Because that goes against science. And I've just made it, and I can make another one in 10 minutes.